Revered Spirit Ashes act as your way to level up your Spirit Ashes and Torrent in the Elden Ring DLC, so especially if you want to use your Spirit Ashes to help out against bosses, these will become vitally important. In this guide, I hope to help explain exactly where each Spirit Ash is in a nice and concise manner. I'll be organizing this video by map region, but please bear in mind that you could very easily accidentally spoil yourself, so let's begin. For your very first Revered Spirit Ash, from the starting Gravesite Plain Site of Grace, simply head east and slightly north. You'll find a statue with your first Revered Spirit Ash. After heading west from the three-path cross Site of Grace and underneath the giant arch, instead of continuing west toward Belurat Tower Settlement, turn south along the cliff edge and you'll be able to jump up to reach the Cliffroad Terminus Site of Grace. From here, simply head southeast and you'll be able to find another statue bearing a Revered Spirit Ash along the edge of the cliff. If you head north from the three-path cross Site of Grace, you'll come to the abandoned Ailing village. On the northeast side of this village, you'll find a statue bearing a Revered Spirit Ash. Our next Revered Spirit Ash can be found by the Ellac River Cave Site of Grace. If you haven't found this yet, from the Castlefront Site of Grace in front of Castle Ensis, head along the path that takes you down and south to the swamp area. From there, turn around and head north, and you'll find a little river you can take west into a cave. Head into that cave, and you'll find both the Site of Grace and another statue bearing a Revered Spirit Ash. For these two, all you need to do is head west from the main gate cross and into the DLC's first legacy dungeon, Belurat Tower Settlement. Once you open the door inside, head up the stairs, and directly in front of you will be a statue containing not one, but two Revered Spirit Ashes. After you've unlocked the shortcut elevator back down to the Belurat Tower Settlement Site of Grace, head back up that elevator, go up the stairs, and jump over the ledge into the gross water. Keep going forward up the ladder and head back outside. From here, head straight towards the big tree, and on the left side of the tree, you'll see another statue bearing a Revered Spirit Ash. Once you've defeated the Divine Beast Dancing Lion boss, you'll unlock the Theater of the Divine Beast Site of Grace. You'll also be able to find an elevator and door that you can head out of to your east. Just outside the door is a statue containing a Revered Spirit Ash. On the east side of the Scadu Altus, you'll find the Moorth Ruins. Head to the east side of the Moorth Ruins and along the cliff edge. Here you'll find another statue containing a Revered Spirit Ash. Our next Revered Spirit Ash can be found at Bonny Village. If you don't know how to get there, there's a secret path down the giant hole in Moorth Ruins. Starting from the Moorth Ruins Site of Grace, head down the path in front of you and to the left side. You'll find a way to drop down into Bonny Village from here. Once you reach Bonny Village, drop down into the dried out river and head north. At the end of this path is a statue with the Revered Spirit Ash. Once you reach the legacy dungeon, the Shadow Keep, you'll work your way into the Specimen Storehouse. At the very bottom of the Storehouse is the Storehouse first floor Site of Grace and a large horned specimen in front of you. You're going to need to get onto that specimen. The way I did this was jumping onto the tomes on the right side of the Site of Grace and specimen up onto the little hallway segment. From there, I jumped onto the tomes stacked on this hallway and used it to jump across onto the stacked tomes on the back side of the specimen. From here, you can jump your way onto the top of the specimen and find another Revered Spirit Ash. The next Revered Spirit Ash in the Shadow Keep can be found near the Storehouse 7th floor Site of Grace. For this one, head out of the room with the Site of Grace and Redmane Freya. All you have to do is head across the hall and you'll see a hanging horned beast. Head to the backside and you'll be able to easily jump onto the beast and get your Revered Spirit Ash. This Revered Spirit Ash can be tricky to find, simply because it's tricky to find the ruins of Unte. If you haven't figured out how to get to the stream below the Scadu Altus and under Bonny Village, you're going to have to do that, and here's how. From the main gate plaza site of Grace at the base of the Shadow Keep, head to your right and up the staircase. Once again, instead of going straight and into the elevator to the Specimen Storehouse, take a right. Along the backside, you'll find a ladder you can take down that will lead to an entrance behind a little water runoff. Here you'll find the Domain of Dragons painting. To the right of the Domain of Dragons painting is an illusory wall. So, whack that illusory wall and you'll find a coffin. This coffin will take you down to the Castle Watering Hole site of Grace and this river, which, if you're like me, you might have been searching for hours. From the Watering Hole site of Grace, head east and slightly south past the ruins of Unte towards the cliffside. Here you'll find a statue containing a Revered Spirit Ash. Now that you've found the ruins of Unte, this next one at the Village of Flies shouldn't be too difficult. From the ruins of Unte, all you have to do is head south along the Recluse's River. Once you reach the Recluse's River downstream site of Grace, you're near the Village of Flies. Drop down to your east, and eventually you'll reach this little village. In the village, you'll find a statue bearing another Revered Spirit Ash. For this next series of Revered Spirit Ashes, you're going to need to reach the Legacy Dungeon Midra's Manse. If you haven't done so yet, to reach this, you need to find the Abyss. To find the Abyss, after dropping down into the Castle Watering Hole from the Shadow Keep, you'll need to find the Dark Light Catacombs. Here's where they are on the map. Defeat the boss, Jori Elder Inquisitor. After you win, you'll discover the Forsaken Graveyard site of Grace and the Abyss. After traversing the Abyss, you'll come to Midra's Manse and the location of 2 Revered Spirit Ashes. When you reach the library portion of the area, instead of dropping down to the bottom, run and jump across the top of the bookshelves. Eventually, you'll want to drop down to where you see the giant Fat Inquisitor. Defeat this Inquisitor, and they'll drop a Revered Spirit Ash. Once you reach the second floor chamber site of Grace, right next to it, you'll see a ladder you can kick down and a giant chandelier you can hop on. Hop on the chandelier and you'll find a Revered Spirit Ash. From the Templetown Ruins site of Grace, head south past the Templetown Ruins and towards the southern-facing cliffside. You'll find a statue here containing a Revered Spirit Ash. To the west of the Shadow Keep, you can find an exit that will take you to the top of the ancient ruins of Rauh and the Viaduct Minor Tower site of Grace. Head along the path into the ruins to the south and you'll find a pot-bearing shade. Kill the shade and it'll drop a Revered Spirit Ash. Once you reach the Rauh Ancient Ruins east side of Grace, take this route west towards the Furnace Golem. Instead of heading into the main section where the Furnace Golem would be, jump off to your right and to the back area of these ruins. In the back, you'll be able to find an elevator that will take you up into a special section. Up here, you'll find a pot-bearing shade who, upon defeat, drops a Revered Spirit Ash. From the Rauh Ancient Ruins west side of Grace, you can head west into the ruins, then up some stairs to emerge back outside. In the center of the shrine here, past some difficult enemies, you'll find another statue that contains a Revered Spirit Ash. Once you reach the final legacy dungeon of the DLC, Enir-Ilim, you'll have a number of Revered Spirit Ashes you can find. The first of these is just outside of the first main site of Grace here, First Rise. From the site of Grace, take the small staircase outside, then cross the bridge. Defeat the large Fat Inquisitor and he'll drop a Revered Spirit Ash for you. Once you defeat the Inquisitors in the section I mentioned earlier, after the First Rise site of Grace, all you need to do is head down the stairs to where the tree roots of this section are. You'll find a little shrine down here with a statue containing 2 more Revered Spirit Ashes. From the Spiral Rise site of Grace, head up and out the window. Continue upwards along the rooftops and you'll reach a point where you can either head into a room to your left or take a staircase up to your right. The room to the left contains a statue bearing another Revered Spirit Ash. Make sure to check back at GameSpot for another guide on how to find every Scadu Tree fragment. and I'll see you guys next time.